Alright guys, so this video is going to be about the bottom deal as taught by Jarek120. This is going to be a bunch of tips and tricks if you're having problems with it, because it can be a tricky move to start out, things like grabbing too many cards from the bottom, or grabbing the top and bottom card, or half the deck falling out like this. So there are a lot of basic issues that people make when they're first starting out, and this video hopes to address and hopefully correct some of those issues. Alright, and before we get too far into it, I'd like to apologize for the camera. I know it's a bit zoomed in and stuff, but I'm going to do my best. I actually used to use my phone camera, but my phone camera actually broke, and so now I'm using my iPad camera. So, sorry about that. Alright, so the first trick when you're doing this is you want to keep a lot of pressure on the deck, but not everywhere on the deck, just on the, these are called the ends, right? Yeah, and these are the sides. So on the ends of the deck with your pinky and first finger. So when you're holding it like this, make sure there's that pressure there, okay? And that will help it so that when you push cards forward, it only pushes one card, and when you pull cards, it only pulls one card. And the cards won't fall out from the bottom and stuff if you're holding pressure here. Now at the same time, you don't want to hold too much pressure here, okay, because then it could stop some of the cards from popping out. It can make them sound really weird. So just put a lot of pressure, but in the other parts of the deck, like your bottom fingers down here and your thumb up here and this right hand, it really shouldn't be too stressed. It should be just those two fingers on the ends of the deck that are holding the deck. Because remember, this is holding the whole deck in place, okay? You should be holding it up in the air a bit, like that much, when you're doing this. So these fingers are holding the whole deck, and the rest of the hands should be, or the rest of the fingers should be pretty much loose. And feel free to experiment with different pressures. Different pressures might work for different people. I personally, putting a lot here and then not a lot here, that just kind of helps me do it right, rather than if there's not enough pressure there, things start to get messy. Alright, and another thing that you really should keep in mind when you're doing this, say you're dealing around 4 different cards, okay? Like 4 different people, and you're doing the bottom deals on yourself. You're gonna want to, you have to stay in tempo. So 1, 2, 2, so like, okay, like this. Oh crap. So you're going around. When you get to yourself, that bottom deal can take no longer. Bam, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See? Like, that's what you don't want. That little glitch I had there. So you can do it faster. Whatever tempo you're doing, make sure you're comfortable doing next deck, doing bottom deals at that tempo as well. So you can deal cards this fast, right? You should also be able to bottom deal cards as fast as you're planning on dealing the regular cards. Because if you go around 1, 2, 3, and then you kind of stop and pull 2, 3, it doesn't look good, and people know something's up. Now let's talk about sound, okay? Because as you know, when you're doing this, it's a lot different sound than what comes out of here. The main solution for this is to loosen up, okay? And after you've gotten pretty proficient at just doing it, loosening up a lot will help. It won't eradicate the sound, but it makes the sound a lot less noticeable than this if you're just kind of doing it lightly, like this, okay? Right? And another thing about the sound, it doesn't really do anything to get rid of the sound, but you can distract people from the sound pretty well by banging your thumb on the table when you deal, like this. See, I'm not just putting these down, I'm actually making a point to hit my thumb on the table. So get into the habit of dealing like this, and that hitting of the thumb takes a little bit of the... People focus on the thumb hitting the table, which is going to be the same whether it's a top or bottom deal, more than they're going to focus on the sound of the cards. It's just mean, people are focusing on the thumb more than the sound of the cards. Alright, so let's try this out, shall we? Because of this camera and this bad tripod, my angles, like, I'm in such an uncomfortable position, so hopefully I don't mess up. But here we go, 4 kings on the bottom. So I'm going to be hitting my thumb like this. Maybe the lag was on the top deal. But yeah, that's exactly how it should look, okay? Hitting your thumb on the table, keeping a lot of pressure, but not too much pressure. Doing it kind of loosely and everywhere but the sides, okay? So here's where you need the force to hold the deck. Otherwise, it should be very nonchalant, you know. And all those things added together should make for a pretty convincing bottom deal, okay? So if you're still having trouble with the bottom deal, if there's maybe an issue that I haven't addressed, or maybe something else is happening for you that I forgot to mention in this video, please put it down in the comments, because I read all of those. And I know personally that this is a very hard move. I spent quite a while learning it completely. So if there's anything that you still have a question on, yeah, throw it in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer your question, okay? And then also subscribe if you're interested in stuff like this. I'm going to be doing a lot more card magic videos, and a lot more book videos, like Erdnase videos, and stuff like that. So stay tuned for all that, and thank you. Goodbye.